Please wait a few seconds before trying again.
We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Stuart, good to see you again. Stuart, you want to give us our 30-second countdown?
Guys, you know what this means. I'm playing a video. Hi, everybody. Instead of giving you 30 seconds, I gave you 10. My name's Stuart Brisgell, and I'm on with David Solomon. We are the Rant Network. And to take one from my partner who is wonderfully supporting this little effort, talking about Best Buy customer service and his personal experiences, I figured I would follow up with him on my personal experiences. I was just in Utah skiing at one of the Vail resorts called Rock Resorts, which is Grand Summit. And, you know, our experiences are no different than yours, except we have now a network in which we can rant about it. And one of the things that kind of annoyed me the most was, and David, I know I've been vaccinated. I got my quote passport, right? I actually had to use that passport. It was getting into the hotel. So believe it or not, the state of Utah and the ski country is 100% booked out at 100% total full price. You cannot believe you have one resort that is $1,500 a night, and that is St. Regis. You have the Waldorf Astoria, that's $1,100 a night. They're all to capacity, right? No rooms, no nothing, no 24 hours, zero. I was staying at a Vail resort, which was another ski and ski out called Grand Summit. If you're familiar with canyons in Utah, it's by the Orange Bubble. An Orange Bubble is a chairlift that takes you up to a good side of the mountain, and it's really convenient to walk out. And, you know, on the surface, I mean, it's a beautiful resort. I mean, there's nothing to be dissatisfied with until you actually get there. So because of COVID, you know, during a COVID experience, you know, you would think that these hotels would be really like at Best Buy, dying to get you in and only wanted to shed any kind of service to make you happy. Well, if it was to understand COVID, we learned that cleanliness is the number one way to prevent the spread of COVID, right? I think that would be a fair statement that the CDC has published in the US, and I'm sure Canada and around the world. So, you know, one of the things that you would think that a hotel would never skimp on, David, believe it or not, would be maid service, right? The more you wipe, the more you clean, the more you vacuum. And by the way, I'm going to bring on the screen, share on the screen. You know, I'm showing you right from the CDC website. So thank you, CDC and our federal government. It says housekeeping staff should wash hands, do this, do this, do this. Nowhere in here do you see on the CDC's website that I've been able to find where limiting the amount of maid service. Now, you would think, what am I talking about? David, you've been to a hotel for more than 2 days, 3 days?
Oh, yeah.
Lots. What happens every single day when you leave your hotel room and go out for your day?
Stuart, what's supposed to happen is someone comes in, tidies up, cleans up, washes and scrubs, cleans up the room in a way that it's reusable, even if you're already there.
Great. And let me take one step further. You know, you would think, now I've been to a lot of hotel rooms. I've been out of town a lot on business, and many of you have as well. You know, one of the most annoying things about a hotel room is when you go into the bathtub shower and you turn it in and the water just doesn't go down. It is the most disgusting thing you can imagine. And I know a lot of you are going, ooh, gross. What is that? I'm telling you, it happens. And if you say it doesn't, you're lying to yourself. So you would think in a COVID environment that one of the main things that they would make sure they clean in a hotel room would be the bathroom. Okay. Now, at this resort, and this is the Rock Resort Grand Summit, which is a premium ski and ski out at a Vail property in Utah. Over a 5-night stay, how often do you think they were coming in the room and tidying up, cleaning up, changing towels, making the bed, cleaning the bathroom?
Dare I ask?
Once. And they did it because I requested it. And you know what? I went down there after day 2 and it said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you send a maid service up? The room needs to be cleaned. I have a problem. Sorry, sir. We'll try and get you done tomorrow. I said, what are you trying to get me done tomorrow? Do you not have maid staff? No, I'm sorry. We've reduced the amount of maid service people. Now, hang on a second. Hang on, David, think about this. COVID environment, right? Cleanup is key, according to the CDC and any expert, right? Like I always do in every show, I say, I wear a mask. There's my mask. I wear a cloth mask that has a filter in it, right? And I promote wearing it. However, COVID, we all know, is smaller than an N94. So N95 would filter where N94 or regular won't. And like I posted recently a picture, which is not a good representation. And I agree with you, David. I put up a 1950s picture for a nuclear holocaust that jive under a desk because I grew up in the 70s where I actually, had a fire drill or nuclear drill, and we actually went under a desk. But the reality is, we do know, however, since the desk won't protect us from a nuclear storm, and I don't believe a 3-ply mask will either for COVID, but it's to make you feel good. But the facts are cleanliness will do everything. Washing your hands, not touching surfaces, using, here, look, right on my desk, I got one of these, David. Here, look, Purell. Yeah, there's a commercial for Purell. There you go. I got everything here. And I recommend using all of the above because in the end, the science is what really needs to be figured out. But how does one of the largest players in vacationing, like Vail Resorts, which own 23 U.S. mountains and God knows how many international ones, right, including in Canada, Blackcomb, reduces their maid staff. Now, and that adds to their bottom line. Like, let's talk. What's the biggest expense to a hotel? Maid service would be one of those top lines, right? They didn't even have a concierge. Why? Well, they fired the concierge. What does the concierge do? Well, the concierge makes your trip easy and helps you make reservations. Well, they're gone too. So hotels, at least this specific hotel, has done away with all the expenses, claiming it's all because of COVID.
You bring up some amazing points here, and let's rewind the clock to over a year ago. And I'm a Marriott member. Everywhere I travel, I try to stay at Marriott. I love the points, love the whole thing. And one of the things that they were encouraging you while you were staying in their hotels was, we'll give you bonus Marriott points if we don't have to clean up your room. If you reuse your towels, and if we don't have to make your bed, and we don't have to do maid service. And I kind of got it at the time. Okay. And sure, it was a wonderful incentive. Stuart, the thing that scares the living bejeebers out of me is your story absolutely makes me ill. The CDC is telling people, I don't care if you're vaccinated, don't travel yet. We're seeing countries around the world are denying Americans and Canadians travel. Right now, France, Italy, Spain, they're on lockdown number 3. Where people are not traveling. And the travel industry has decimated. And yet, you go into an airport today, an airline that is actually flying, they're the cleanest they've ever been. They can't afford a breakout in an airport. Could you imagine in LaGuardia? Could you imagine in any major airport a shutdown? Like, it would be a disaster. Could you imagine an airline? Look what's going on in the cruise industry, which is a floating hotel. Disney announced that they wanted to come back with their cruises for 2021. They're now into 2022 because they can't insure the customers properly. I think where the hotel industry in your situation is scary is every report you see about the hospitality industry is screaming and yelling. Priority number 1, make the customer experience it's so important. And health and cleanliness is the number 1 priority. Forget about a concierge to make you a reservation at a hotel, at a restaurant, or at a play. Who cares? But cleanliness, evidential cleanliness, basically begs me to say, I'm not going there. It's going to scare people off.
So let me give you another. You talked about airlines. So I flew on Delta. So I flew at MIA and I landed in Utah direct. The middle seats were all left unused. People don't understand that actually airplanes have a pretty darn good filter system now, right?
Well,
And
better than they've ever had. They had no choice.
correct. But the middle seats are left empty, right? And they're handing you little things of water, cookies, and peanuts in a bag. Nothing else.
Are
So
they
they've
insisting
reduced
on
all
all that?
this.
Are they still insisting on masks on airlines?
Absolutely. And if you eat it, you're supposed to lift your mask up, put your
Yeah.
food, and put it back on. Now, I don't really understand what the point is. You're in a capsule and you're next to people, but they've actually given up in this plane, in this example, 1/3 of their entire airplane. They've sacrificed. So they've scaled things back, and I kind of understand that. Conversely, as we just talked about, at this hotel, right? This is the Grand Summit, Park City. If they had 1/3 of the hotel vacant and had 1/3 less staff, I would understand it. So really, is it really just a secret way of corporate profiteering, or is it just a mismanaged hotel?
Well, you know what you're going to get at, though. And it's probably, it could be a combination of both. But here's the scary part. People will talk with their wallets and their feet because they'll go to, Vail isn't the be all and end all. You got Lake Tahoe, you got other places. The ones that are going to stand out are the ones that are going to offer the right customer experience. Now, and they're going to learn that way. Because right now, as long as the CDC and as other states and provinces and other people are discouraging any form of leisure travel, it's good. You're going to continue to hurt hotels. You're going to hurt the airlines. We're hurting cruises. We're hurting left, right, and center the travel industry. We're talking over 90+% down. I mean, this is insanity. And it's not every hotel, let's be clear, but the one you stayed at. If that's what they're going to do, all these corporations are going to do, we're dead. They're dead.
Are they dead, or is it just accepting the new normal? I mean, the bottom line is the new normal, right, is whatever, cattle end up liking. I want to go skiing. When you're outdoors, it even insisted you wear a mask while you ski. I'm like, I don't get it. Number one, sunlight kills COVID. Cold kind of doesn't do really good with viruses. And number three, you're more than 3 feet away to 6 feet away. Someone's running down a screen, so it's just really funny. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And it is really painful because, these executives that are profiteering because of COVID, getting bailouts, right? And aren't supporting their staff. I mean, where did all these maids go?
Well, look, the staff is not an issue. The problem is unemployment. Let's remember, is almost at an all-time high. So it's not about getting staff. It's not about that at all. It's about actually, like you said, it's about saving the bottom line. And if they're going to cut on cleanliness, and they have one breakout, whether it's the flu, COVID, or other, they're going to go right back to zero. Because who the hell is going to want to stay at that hotel?
You're right. I personally, was kind of disappointed. I was really disappointed. I got to tell you, I couldn't get my room cleaned. I couldn't get new towels. This because
again,
of COVID.
Right.
Because of COVID.
Well, now the COVID's the new excuse. But again, let me remind you, pre-COVID, and my wife and I did a lot of business travel in my day and whatever. The experiences weren't so bad, hotel from hotel. Some were fantastic. AAA responded phenomenal. And I got to tell you, I stayed at some Marriotts, and I'm a big fan of the Marriott chain. And I stayed at some Marriotts that were less, customer driven. And then there was one where I stayed in this, I can't remember which town. And I thought, where am I going to be? But they were top notch. Man, they were top notch. I needed something. It was top notch. The rooms were clean. The bathrooms were spotless. I could eat off the floor. I mean, this predates COVID, though. There were many, many different incidences where we had problems with the glasses, we had problems with cleanliness, we had problems with sheets not being cleaned properly, all kinds of blech. So if this is what's going to happen in a post-COVID world, like I said, and we got to wrap this up, buddy, it's all about people talking with their wallets. And we are now in control. If we go out there and we express ourselves where there is a choice and we're going to go somewhere else because we're not happy with the way they're staying clean, guess what? They will suffer even more. To save a few bucks on a maid versus you and me going, not worth it.
What time is it, David?
Buddy, it's the top. It's that 15 minutes. So I want to thank everybody again. Wonderful, wonderful week we've had here. Unbelievable responses, folks. Thank you so much for your comments on Facebook. Thank you very much for your emails at rant@therantnetwork.com. We love your suggestions. We love your thought processes. We love what we're hearing from you. We know you don't have to agree with us, but we want to hear what you have to say. And if you're interested in finding out more about the Rant Network or looking at our archives, check out our Facebook page, the Rant Network Facebook page, or go to therantnetwork.com and you can see it all there. Stuart, sign us off.
Guys, I'd like to say goodbye, but David, you got the controls today. You got to hit it.
Everyone, have a great weekend. Stay well. Talk to you on